There's a question I didn't ask until my third dead MVP. And the moment I did, my AI coding agent stopped generating the wrong thing. Most solo founders right now are doing what I was doing, opening Cursor at 9 p.m. Typing, build me a feature, merging 400 lines of code, and discovering on Friday it doesn't do what they actually needed. The problem isn't the AI, the problem is there was never a real spec. Here's the system I built after the third rewrite. You know this scene. It's Tuesday night. You opened your AI agent at 9, typed, build me a user auth system, merged 400 lines of code, and by Friday your test users say the password reset email never arrives because the agent wired it to a service you never set up. Or this one. You shipped a SaaS in February. By May you have paying customers and a feature request list that scrolls forever. You can't tell what's a feature, what's a bug, what's a security issue. You stop opening the laptop on Sunday. Or this. You finally hire a contractor. Day one, they ask, where's the spec? You send them the README. They quote 40 more hours just to figure out what to build. These three scenes share one root cause. The spec doesn't exist, or it lives only in your head, where the AI agent can't read it. I'm going to walk you through 5 pieces, not motivational ideas, an actual system that fixed this for me. The first trap isn't writing the spec. It's that the idea inside the spec might not be worth shipping. You can spend months on an MVP without ever asking one stranger if they'd pay for it. They wouldn't have. So SpecShield opens with a fork. Validation mode is a one-page lean canvas plus a one-week prototype sprint testing the single riskiest assumption. If the test fails, you kill or pivot before writing a single PRD line. If it passes, only then do you enter the full pipeline. This one fork saves entire quarters. The cost of running validation mode is 1 weekend. The cost of skipping it is 4 months of building something nobody will buy. Once the idea passes validation, you do something solo founders almost never do. You plan like it's 1995. Hybrid Agile, water scrum fall, means waterfall on the way in and scrum on the way out. Phase 1 produces 7 product requirements documents: functional, non-functional, roadmap, KPI, user stories, risk register, cost estimate. Phase 2 produces 5 system analysis documents: architecture, database schema, interface specs, security and compliance, observability. Phase 3 produces 4 program specifications, API specs, core logic pseudocode, data dictionary, error codes. That's 16 documents before you open the editor. Sounds like a lot, but every dumb decision you would otherwise have made in code, you make it in Markdown first. When you finally open Cursor, the agent can read every spec document and the code lands right on the first try. Once specs are locked, you ship in 2-week sprints. But the secret isn't the sprints, it's the harness you build around them. Harness engineering is a 2x2. On one axis, guides, the AGENTS.md file, architecture docs, custom skills, the feed-forward control, telling the agent what good looks like. On the other axis, sensors, linters, tests, AI code review, the feedback control, catching when the agent drifts. You cover both computational checks like type errors and inferential checks like architectural drift. This is the moat. The prompt is not the moat. The harness, the environment the agent runs inside, is the moat. When you have a real harness, your lint error messages become the agent's fix instructions, and your architecture doc becomes the agent's mental model. If your product touches user accounts, payments, regulated data, or a public API, security isn't a phase 6 checklist. It's an overlay across every phase. The SSDLC Overlay has 3 tiers: baseline, standard, comprehensive, picked at step 0 based on what your product handles. Tier 1 is for marketing sites and toys. Tier 2 is for SaaS with user data. Tier 3 is for fintech, health and regulated workflows. The overlay forces you to define security requirements in the PRD, threat models in system analysis, secure implementation controls in the specs, security testing in release, and incident response in operations. By the time you ship, the security work is already done, not bolted on the night before launch when the launch date is already on Twitter. This is the smallest, most underrated piece. Between every phase, there's a reflection gate, not an approval queue, a forced pause. Standardized questions you have to answer. The 4 status options are confirmed, needs revision, needs validation first, or skip phase. The gate is where you catch the mistake before it propagates. The PRD has assumptions that system analysis would expose. Catch it at the gate. The system analysis introduces a stack the team can't maintain. Catch it at the gate. You'll be tempted to skip gates because they feel like bureaucracy. Don't. 60 seconds of question answering at a gate beats a week of unwinding a decision in code. Suppose you start tonight at 9 p.m. Here's what your screen looks like, hour by hour, based on what's actually in the kit. 9 to 11, step 0, discovery. You answer the classification questions. The system tells you whether you're scenario A, greenfield, scenario B, existing docs, or scenario C, existing code. It picks your SSDLC tier and confirms your tech stack. By 11, you have a written discovery brief and your tier locked. 11 to 1 a.m., phase 1, PRD, templates fill in. By 1 a.m., you've decided what's in scope and what's explicitly out of scope. Wednesday and Thursday, 2 evening sessions. Phase 2, system analysis. Phase 3, program specifications. By Friday morning, you have a fully specified system the AI agent can read end to end. You open the editor with a real spec underneath you. The agent ships code that compiles and matches your intent on the first try. Today, I walked you through 5 pieces. Validation mode, hybrid agile planning, harness engineering, the SSDLC overlay, and the reflection gate protocol. That's the spine, the full kit, every phase template, all 20 plus reference documents, the workflow diagram, the consistency checklist, the change request protocol, the cross-reference invariants, and the SSDLC tier playbooks, lives in SpecShield, a Claude Code skill. One purchase, no subscription, perpetual commercial license. Link is in the description. dennisverse31.gumroad.com/l/SpecShield. Done beats perfect. Drafting that first ugly PRD tonight is worth more than saving 100 more videos on how AI is changing software. See you in the next one.